Welcome back to the Python short video series. In today's episode, we're learning about strings, one of the most commonly used data types in Python. By the end, you'll know how to create, modify, and format strings in real programs. Strings in Python are just sequences of characters wrapped in quotes, single, double, or even triple quotes for multi-line text. Python treats strings as sequences, so every character has a position called an index. Here I have the word Python stored in a variable. Each character in this string has a position called an index. Indexes in Python start at 0 for the first character, so P is at index 0, Y is at index 1, and so on. Let's look at this line. This prints P because word 0 means give me the character at position 0. Python also supports negative indexes. Negative indexes count from the end of the string. The last character is -1, the one before that is -2, and so on. For example, this word -1 prints n, the last character of Python. So positive indexes start from beginning, 0. Negative indexes start from end. Strings come with powerful built-in methods to modify or check them. Here are some common ones. First, len gives the total number of characters in a string, including spaces. So even the extra spaces at the beginning and the end are counted. Next, upper converts all letters in the string to uppercase, while lower changes everything to lowercase. The strip method is useful when you want to remove spaces from the start and end of your string, leaving the text clean. If you need to replace part of a string with something else, you can use replace. For example, changing the word world to Python in our string. With starts with and ends with, you can check if your string begins or ends with a specific character or characters. They return true or false depending on whether the condition is met. The count method tells you how many times a character or substring appears in your string, while find searches for a substring and returns the index where it starts, or -1 if it's not found. One thing to note about replace is that it doesn't change the original string unless you assign the result to a new variable. So even if we replace world with Python, methods like answith will still check the original text because the original string hasn't been changed in memory. This is true for almost all string methods. They return a new version of the string but leave the original one untouched unless you explicitly reassign it. Now that we've seen some ways to modify and analyze strings, let's look at string formatting, a powerful way to insert variables or values directly inside your text. Now let's talk about string formatting. Sometimes we want to insert variables or values into a string in a neat and readable way. Instead of messy concatenation, Python gives us a couple of powerful options, fstrings and the format method. Fstrings are short for formatted strings. They are very readable and allow you to insert variables directly inside the curly braces. For example, this prints my name is Alice and I'm 25 years old. The values of name and age are evaluated and inserted directly into the string. You can even do calculations inside the braces. For example, 2 plus 2 is in curly braces 2 plus 2. Python evaluates 2 plus 2 and prints 4. The format method is another way to insert variables. You create placeholders with curly braces in your string and call that format with the values you want to insert. This works just like fstrings, but the variables are passed in order. The first curly braces gets the first argument, the second gets the second, and so on. You can also number the placeholders to control the order explicitly. This prints I'm 25 years old and my name is Alice, even though we typed age seconds in dot format. The first placeholder ensures it appears first. F strings are generally cleaner and easier to read, especially when you have many variables or expressions. You can also format numbers, like controlling decimal places. This prints pi rounded to two decimal places is 3.14. The point 2f tells Python to format the number with two digits after the decimal point. Now that we know how to insert variables and format strings, we can combine this with slicing, indexing, and string methods to manipulate text in really powerful ways. Next, we'll explore string slicing and advanced string manipulation, which lets us extract parts of a string and do even more complex operations. Now that we've covered indexing and string methods, let's move on to slicing, which lets us extract parts of a string or manipulate it in more advanced ways. First, the basic slice format is start colon end, where the start index is included but the end index is excluded. For example, if we slice from index 0 to 4, Python will include the characters at positions 0, 1, 2, and 3, but not the one at index 4. If we leave the start blank, Python assumes it's 0, so slicing up to index 4 is the same as starting from 0 to 4. On the other hand, if we leave the end blank, Python will go all the way to the last character. So starting at index 2 and leaving the end blank will return all characters from the third character to the end. We can also add a step to our slice using the format start colon and colon step. This tells Python to pick every nth character. For example, a step of 2 will select every second character from the string. Finally, slicing can be used to reverse a string. By using a negative step of -1, Python starts from the end and goes backwards, giving us the string in reverse order. Alright, now it's your turn. Before I show you the solution, I want you to try writing the code yourself. Here's what your program should do. It should ask the user to enter their name, remove any extra space at the start and end of the input, print the name in uppercase, print only the first three letters of the clean name, and lastly display the length of the clean name. Think about which string methods, slicing, and functions we've learned so far can help you accomplish each step. Take a moment to type it out and test it with any name you like. Pause the video if you need some extra time. Now that you tried it yourself, let's go through one possible solution for this mini practice. First, we take the user's input using the input function and store it in the variable name. This allows our program to work with whatever the user types. Next, we use the strip method to remove any extra space at the beginning and end of the input. This cleaned version is stored in the variable clean name. It's important to do this so our subsequent operations don't include unwanted spaces. Then we print the name in uppercase using an F string. This converts all letters to capital letters, which is a simple way to emphasize the text. After that, we print only the first three letters of the cleaned name, again using an F string. This demonstrates how we can extract a part of the string using slicing. Finally, we display the length of the cleaned name using the length function combined with the format method. This counts all characters in the string, including spaces that are inside the name, but ignoring the extra spaces we removed earlier. Keep in mind that this is just one way to solve this practice. If you wrote it differently but got the same result, your solution is correct too. Python often lets us achieve the same outcome in multiple ways, so experimenting is encouraged. So in summary, this small program shows how to take user input, clean it, manipulate it with string methods, extract parts of it with slicing, and calculate its length, all using what we learned about Python strings. And that's it for today's episode on Python strings. We covered string indexing, methods, formatting, slicing, and even a mini practice to combine everything. Strings are a fundamental part of Python, and mastering them will make your programs much more powerful and flexible. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the bell icon to follow this series. Also, check out the previous videos if you missed them, and stay tuned for the next episode where we'll dive into lists and tuples, another essential Python topic. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next one.